Picture this. A little child is caught outside in a sudden storm. The sky darkens, thunder rumble, and fear sets in. But then she sees her father running towards her with his arms open. In an instant, the fear fades. She feels safe, not because the storm has vanished, but because her father is near. Well, that's the kind of comfort the Psalms describe. God doesn't promise us a life without storms, but He does promise His presence in the middle of them, and that changes everything. Welcome to the Ben Men Popscast. I'm Dr. Bob Martin, or Pops. Today we're examining 4 Psalms which reveal God's nearness and comfort. First is Psalm 23, which is probably the most famous psalm in the Bible, and it begins, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." Now, think about that image, a shepherd guiding, feeding, and protecting his sheep. Sheep don't survive on their own. They need care every hour of every day. And that's how dependent we are on God and how faithful He is to us. David goes on, "Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. You are with me." Now, notice God doesn't take us around the valley, but He promises to walk with us through it. His rod and staff guide, protect, and comfort us. When you feel exposed or afraid, Psalm 23 reminds you the shepherd never leaves his sheep. Next is Psalm 46. It begins, "God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore, we will not fear, though the earth gives way." Now, can you imagine seeing mountains crumbling into the sea? Well, it would feel like the world was falling apart. And yet, the psalmist says, we will not fear. Why? Because God is our refuge. He is the safe place when everything else shakes. This psalm inspired Martin Luther to write the hymn, "A Mighty Fortress is Our God." So when chaos swirls around you, Psalm 46 calls you to run to God, not away from Him. Our third psalm is Psalm 91, and it paints another picture of God as shelter and fortress. He will cover you with His pinions, and under His wings you will find refuge. It's the image of a mother bird gathering her chicks under her wings when danger approaches. The storm still rages outside, but under those wings, there's warmth and safety. Now, many believers throughout history have clung to this psalm in times of sickness, war, and persecution. It reminds us, nothing touches our lives that hasn't first passed through God's loving hands. Finally, Psalm 121 begins with, "I lift up my eyes to the hills. From where does my help come?" The psalmist is a pilgrim journeying to Jerusalem. He lifts up his eyes to the hills of Jerusalem, and there stands the temple, symbolizing God's presence among His people. Now, the psalmist declares, "My help comes from the Lord who made heaven and earth." He's saying that his comfort comes from this omnipotent God who will not let your foot be moved. He who keeps you will not slumber. God never sleeps. Day and night, He watches over you with constant care. So what do these 4 Psalms teach us? Psalm 23 says God is our shepherd, guiding, protecting, and staying close. Psalm 46 reminds us that God is our refuge, even when the world shakes. Psalm 91 explains that God is our shelter, metaphorically covering us with His wings and keeping us safe. And finally, Psalm 121 promises that our omnipotent God is our keeper, never sleeping, always watching. Together, they paint a breathtaking picture of God's nearness. He isn't far off. He's with you in the valley, the storm, the chaos, and the uncertainty. So I'd like to leave you with this call to action. Choose just one of these 4 Psalms this week, and each morning, in a quiet place, read it slowly, visually imagining what you're reading. Whether it's a shepherd, a fortress, a mother bird, or a keeper who never sleeps, let those words remind you of God's nearness and care for you. Storms will come, but a loving Father is near, and in His nearness there is comfort. Thanks for joining me for this episode of the Bin Men Popscast. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Be sure to visit our website at binmen.org for more resources and sign up for our newsmail. And remember to follow us on social media. Until next time, God bless you.